So in this video, we are going to learn how to automatically send Google Form responses to multiple email addresses. So in this video, we are going to set up an automation in such a way that whenever we are going to receive a new form response in Google Forms, automatically all the form responses, the complete form submission data will be sent as an email to multiple email addresses or to multiple users. Let's say you are working in a company where you have created an online form for asset request. So all of your employees or team members can fill that form requesting any asset which they want. It can be some kind of hardware or software. Now after receiving the form submission, you have to actually manually send the form details or the asset request to their respective teams like IT team, HR, accounts department and all of that. But using this automation, you can eliminate this process. Just by receiving a form submission, you can automatically send the same form responses to multiple email addresses as well. Now, if you want to know how you can set up this automation, for that, you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, this is the Google form which I have created. Now this is an asset request form. Whenever any of my team members wants to request some kind of asset, they open this form and enter their details and makes the form submission. Now I want that whenever a new form submission is received, whenever my team members request for any asset, I have to notify about this to multiple teams in my company. Let's say I have to multiply the IT team, the HR department, the accounts department, and a lot more. So we are going to set up an automation in such a way that whenever we are going to receive the response in this Google form, whenever we are going to receive an asset request from our team members, automatically the same form response, the same asset request will be sent on email to multiple teams using Gmail. So let's see how it is done. Now to make this happen, we have to connect our Google form with our Gmail account using which we will be sending the email, so that we receive the form submission in Google Forms and form responses are emailed from our Gmail account to the dedicated teams. Now to make this happen, to set up this kind of automation, we will be using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration platform. So here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard, and to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. Now to start creating this kind of automation in Pabbly Connect, click on this create workflow button and give this workflow a name. Let's say I want to name it as Google Forms to Gmail. You can give any name of your choice. And after selecting or after entering the name of your automation workflow, here in select folder from the drop down, select the folder of your Pabbly Connect account in which you want to create this workflow and click on create. Now when we click on create, here you can see this automation workflow is created in our Pabbly Connect account. After creating this automation, here you can see we have two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with our trigger window. Now the idea here is, first we have to connect our Google form which we have created with Pabbly Connect in the trigger step, so that whenever we are going to receive a new form submission, a new form response in Google Forms, automatically those form responses will also be captured inside Pabbly Connect. We are going to receive the form responses in our Pabbly Connect workflow, and this automation workflow will trigger, it will start. Then after that, using this Pabbly Connect automation, we are going to email those form responses to multiple team members of our company using our Gmail account. Or instead of Gmail, you can use any other service provider for email as well. So let's see how it is done. Starting from our trigger window, in Choose App, search for Google Forms. Just select it. After selecting Google Forms in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select the trigger event as New Response Received. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect this Google Form with Pabbly Connect. Now you must be thinking how we are going to use this webhook URL to connect Google Forms and receive form responses in our Pabbly Connect workflow. So to do this, we just have to follow the instructions given below over here. Just copy this webhook URL from here and go to your Google Forms account. Now this is the Google form which we have created in our Google Forms account. We want to receive the responses of this form in our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now instead of connecting this Google form, we all know that Google form responses are stored, are saved in a Google Sheet. And we are going to connect that Google Sheet in which the form responses of this Google form will be stored with Pabbly Connect using the webhook URL. Now, before we start creating or connecting that Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect, what we have to do, we have to come to our form and we have to ensure that the last question of a Google form is marked as required. It is very important to mark the last question, whatever question you have as the last question of your Google form, just ensure to mark that question as required. After that, we have to open the Google Sheet in which the responses of this form will be stored. So from this question tab, we will go to the right side to the responses tab, and here you can see this link to sheets option. Just click on it, select create a new spreadsheet and click on create. Now when we click on create, here you can see in a new tab, a Google spreadsheet open in front of us. Now this is the exact same Google Sheet in which all the responses of this form submission will be stored. And we are going to connect this Google spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect using this webhook URL. So to add this webhook URL in this Google spreadsheet, go to extensions, add-ons and click on get add-ons. After clicking on get add-ons, we will reach to Google Workspace Marketplace. And here in search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Here you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks. This add-on is already installed in my Google Sheets. After installing this same add-on into your Google Sheets account, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. After refreshing our Google Sheets, go to extensions and here you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks. This add-on can be seen over here. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. Now as we click on Initial Setup, you will see a dialog box appears in front of us. And in this box, you can see three different things. It is asking us three different things. First one is the selected sheet. Now here in this Google spreadsheet, by default, I have only one sheet named as Form Responses 1. That's why by default, it has selected Form Responses 1. Then the second thing which it is asking us is the webhook URL. And here in this field of webhook URL, we have to paste the exact same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy this URL from here and then paste it over here. At last, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now here you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So the trigger column is the last data entry column of our Google Sheet. It is the last column of our Google spreadsheet in which any of our data exists. So here in the background, you can see column H is going to be my trigger column because it is the last column in which any of my data exists. After column H, in any of the column, none of my data does not exist. So I will be entering my last column, column H, as the trigger column. Now, according to your Google spreadsheet or according to form which you have created, any column C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, any column could be a trigger column. You just have to ensure that it is the last column of your Google spreadsheet of the form responses. And after entering the trigger column, just click on Submit. After clicking on Submit, it is showing us Setup configured successfully. This means we have successfully added this webhook URL in our Google spreadsheet, or this is the same spreadsheet in which our Google form responses will be stored. After adding the webhook URL, once again go to Extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and this time we have to select this Send on Event option. By selecting Send on Event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever a new row of data is added in this Google Sheet, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission, a new form response in Google Forms, immediately send those form responses to Pabbly Connect. So here the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Google form with Pabbly Connect in the trigger step. Now here in Pabbly Connect workflow, it is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some responses of a new form submission from Google Forms. So let's do it. We will just go to our Google form and we will open this form in preview mode. And then we are going to make a test form submission. So here, just now in the Google form which we have created, we have entered the details of a test user, a dummy user. And after entering the details, let's click on Submit. As we click on Submit, we will see in our Google form, we have received a form submission, a form response. And the form responses are added as a new row over here. Here you can see the same details. Now, because we have connected this Google form, because we have connected this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect in the trigger step, you can see in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger step, instantly within seconds, we have received the response. And in this response, you can see the details of that exact same form submission. We have this exact same asset type which we have selected, that is hardware. Then here you can see the date and time, that at what date and time this form submission, this form response was received. You can see the trigger column of our Google Sheet which we have selected. You can select the spreadsheet name. Also, after scrolling down, here you can see the row index of the Google spreadsheet. And then we have all the form responses, all the details related to form submission. We have the employee name, we have the priority, we have the employee email, the employee's department, we have the name of the asset which they have requested, and also the description. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed, where we have successfully connected our Google form with Pabbly Connect and received the Google form responses in our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now after this, let's move to step 2. So what we want to do on this form submission, we want to send the email of the form responses to multiple peoples. So to do this, we will just scroll down and come to this action step. And here in choose app, we are going to search for Gmail. So just select Gmail over here. After selecting Gmail, in action event from the drop down, select send email as the action event. Then just click on connect and select add new connection. Now here we have to connect our Gmail account with Pabbly Connect, using which we want to send the emails. So I'll just click on this connect with Gmail button, select my Gmail account using which I want to send the emails, scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see within few seconds, the Gmail account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. Then after making the connection, the first thing it asks us is the recipient email addresses. And this is a very important field. Now in this particular field, we have to enter the email address of all the team members to whom we want to send the emails. Let's say on this form submission, on the responses of asset request form, I want to send the emails to 3 departments. First one is the HR, second one is the IT department, and third one is the accounts department. So to whoever you want to send the emails, you have to enter email address of all the peoples over here. Here you can see I have entered 3 different email address for 3 different departments separated by comma. In this way, by adding the comma, you can enter as many recipient email addresses as you want. And whenever this automation is going to run, after setting up this automation, the form responses email will be sent to all the people's email address you are entering over here. So right now, I just want to send the email to these 3 peoples. After entering the recipient email address, if you want, you can add some email addresses in CC and BCC as well. And you can also add multiple email addresses over here by separating it by using this comma. Right now, I just don't want to enter any email in CC or BCC. So that's why I'm just ignoring these 2 fields. We are keeping it blank. But if you want, you can add the emails as well. Then after that, it is asking us sender's name. So let's say I want to send the email by the name as, for example, Pabbly Tudes. So by this sender name, I want to send the emails to my team members. Then after sender's name, it is asking us email subject, that what will be the subject line of this email. So I want my subject line to be asset request from. So I want to mention the name of the employee, name of the person who made the form submission, who has made the asset request. So we have received the name of the person who made the asset request, name of our team members in Google form responses in the trigger step. So while making the form submission, the team members has entered their name and we have received the form response in our Pabbly Connect workflows trigger step. We have the name of the employee. Now we are going to map this response of same employee name in this subject line step, subject line field of our Gmail action step. So here in email subject, the subject line will be asset request from, and after that, from this drop down, select the response of name of the team member, name of the employee, and their name will be added. So by this subject line, the email will be sent to all of these users whose email address we have added. Then after that, if you want, you have an option to add a different reply to email. But right now, I don't want to add it. So we are just going to keep this field as blank. Then it is asking us email content type, that what type of content of the email you are creating. And in the drop down, we have 2 options. Either it can be a plain email or it can be an HTML email. So right now, I'm just creating a plain email. So I'm selecting plain over here. And at last, it is asking us email content, that what is the content of the email which we are creating. So I want my email to be hello. Okay, so this is the kind of email I want to send to all of these my team members for the asset request form with the Google form responses. Hello, we have received an asset request from one of our team members. The details are as follows. We have the employee name, we have the email, department, asset type, asset name, and description. So in this email, we are going to mention each and every form response which we have received from Google Forms in our Pabbly Connect workflow so that we can share all the details with all the peoples in a single email at once. Now you must be thinking how we are going to add the form responses received from Google Forms in the Triggers tab to this Gmail Actions tab. So one by one, we are going to map all of these responses. Like here in front of employee name, we will just click here. And here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the responses of form submission which we have received from Google Forms can be seen over here. Out of all of this, we are going to select the response of the employee name and we are going to map it in front of it. So whatever name the user is going to enter, the team member is going to enter while making the form submission, we are going to enter the same name. We are going to enter the same details in the email as well. And after that, it is asking us for the email address. So from the drop down, we are going to use the same process of mapping and map the email. Then we are going to map the department. So here is the department. Then after that, let's map the asset type. So the asset type was hardware. Then we have to map the asset name. Here it is. From the drop down, map the asset name and then map the description as well. So in this way, whatever responses of form submission we are receiving in Google Forms, you can email all of those form responses to multiple peoples using this Actions tab. So in this way, we have created the email subject line, we have selected the type, and we have created the email body. Now here, I have just created a simple body and mapped all the form responses. But instead of this, you can basically create any email body of your choice and map all the responses as per your requirement. Also, if you want, you can ask for some kind of file uploads or some kind of file attachments in the Google Form submission and send those files as an attachment with this email as well. You just have to map the file URL in the attachment field and give this file a name in file name section. But right now, because we were not asking any kind of file uploads or attachments, we can ignore these two fields for now and click on Save and Send Test Request. Now, when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the email content which we have created over here, this particular email with this subject line is sent to all three of these team members, all three of these email addresses. So let's check it. We will go to the email inbox and yes, here you can see on the email inbox, we have received an email. The subject line is asset request from demo user. So we have the same subject line which we have created in our Pabbly Connect workflow. We have the subject line as asset request from, and here in the subject line itself, we have the name of the employee who has made the form submission. Hello, we have received an asset request from one of our team members. The details are as follows. We have the employee name, same email, same department, same asset type, same asset name, and same description. So we have the same email whose body we have created in our Pabbly Connect workflow, and we have the same details from our Google Form responses in the email as well. Also, if you check, and here you can also see that the email is sent to the same three users, same three email addresses whose email addresses we have added in this recipient email address field. So it is sent to multiple users and all the users whose email address we have added. This means the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect, this automation is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever you receive a new form response in Google Forms, you can send email notification of form responses as an email to multiple users at once. Now, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once. I'll just go to my Google form and we will just refresh this form and make a new form submission. Let's say this time the employee name is test user. The department is, for example, HR. The asset type is, for example, software. Asset name is, for example, Pabbly Connect. And I'm going to add a description as we are testing this automation. This is a dummy description which I'm adding. The priority is, for example, medium. And let's click on submit. Now, as we click on submit, here you can see just now we have received a form response in Google Forms. And as we receive the form response, instantly within seconds, all of these form responses will be sent as an email to all the people, to multiple users whose email address we have added in this automation. So we'll just go to the email inbox, and yes, here you can see just now within seconds, the email notification is received. The subject line is asset request from test user, the same person, same employee name which we have added in form submission. And here you can see the same details. You have the same name, same email, same department, HR, same asset type, software, same asset name, and also the same description. This means the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect, this automation is working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this exact same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down to your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.